Hello, and welcome back
Yeah.
to Screamer Comic Reviews.
Hey, I'm Alex Trim, and I'll be the new host of Screamer Comic Reviews.
And I will be his co-host. And we just want to say, I'm going to get this really nice $3,000 professional movie camera. So if you have any complaints about the lag or the quality of the video, or even the sound, the audio's not that great of our voices, but we're going to get a camera and fix all that. Okay, now on to the review.
Alright, so today we're going to be doing the review of The Walking Dead Part 2. And someone did ask me if I had the original prints, but I don't. They're not, it's not like they're rare, but, you know, I would rather get the whole set of the story than just the original prints. So to start the story off, starts off right where the first one ended. They leave the camp where they stayed, at which Charles
And for those of you that didn't read the first one, for those of you that didn't watch our review, I'm going to make a little, turn on your annotations, and I'm going to give you a link to our first review right here. And make sure you turn on your annotations or else I'll look like a fucking retard. But yeah, so the first comic, as Alex said in the first review, was mainly about can they survive without government or without all the things we take for granted today while fighting zombies.
Yeah, so this one it's more of just, instead of, you know, getting introduced to the story, it's now, you know, they're trying to find a new home. It's winter now. It's hard, you know, to find a good place to live. It's cold. They're running out of food. They need to find new people to talk to. You know, tensions are getting higher when you get so close to people for so long. But, so the first part is they go to this nice estate, but, of course, it's covered in zombies. But they don't know that yet. They think it's fine. But when they go inside, they learn that, you know, it's crawling with zombies. They just have to leave. So next, they go hunting. And some very, very, very stupid redneck shoots Rick's son. And he gets, of course, very pissed off. And so to make it up to him, he takes them back to their barn, where they have a larger family. So it's pretty much the same thing as them. It's like the movie Shaun of the Dead, where they meet the other group, and it's almost exactly like them. They all have their own similarities, but they're just rednecks. So anyways, they go in there. They start living with them. They get along all right. You know, they sleep fine. You know, the sun starts getting better. But, you know, tensions, of course, have to rise. This would be a very, very, very boring comic. They just stayed there and then left later. So, you know, you learn that the father, the owner of the farm, he does not kill zombies. If he finds them, he puts them in a barn and keeps them there until, you know, he's stupid. He
thinks they're going to find a cure.
Yeah, he thinks that they'll magically be cured.
Very old. That is like a famous zombie cliche. People don't want to let them go because they think they can find a cure, but they're just lying to themselves because they know that there's no cure.
Mm. And so, you know, he just keeps saying. He wonders why he's not killing them, but there's one thing, of course. There's family members in there. His son's in there.
Always gets in the way of what he... In the end, he knows he's going to have...
In the end, he knows he's going to have to kill him sometime.
Yeah, I mean, can't keep him there forever. But he's just lying to himself. He's a little bit of a short-tempered man, we should say.
And, of course, people start having, you know, affairs. Redneck girl wants to do the Chinese guy from the first comic. And, of course, you know, tensions rise. People get more and more desperate.
It's more than just a zombie comic.
The zombies aren't even important.
There's conflicts within the conflict. Not only are they fighting zombies, but people sleeping with each other, and they kind of don't get along with each other.
It's getting cold. They can't find animals out anymore. But anyway, so, you know, one day, you know, they're target practicing. Dad gets all pissed off. Tells them to stop because they can shoot a zombie back there. Because, you know, he's just getting crazy. He's getting really crazy. He doesn't want to kill any of the zombies. So finally, they get one zombie that comes onto their property, and they're about to shoot it, but they tell him, no, don't shoot it. So he tries to bring it back inside of the barn, but accidentally, a zombie falls out of the barn and makes all the zombies escape. So, you know, they only have one choice, and that's to kill all the zombies. Yeah. So they do kill all of them, but the father... A lot of people actually die. Some people get bit. Some people almost die. But, luckily they stop themselves before they get bitten. The father has to shoot some of them. His own son gets very sad. So, when he's all pissed off and sad, and he thinks nothing bad else is going to happen, he finds his daughter having an affair with the Chinese guy from the first comic. So, of course, he gets even more pissed off about that. And finally, he just can't take it anymore. He says, leave. You're causing my family so much trouble. Why are you still here?
Yeah.
I've given you so much. But then, he says, we never asked for anything. Just your, consideration, your happiness, your shelter. So, of course, he says they can live in the barn, but they're like, why the hell would we want to live in that shithole?
I know, where all the zombies used to be and all that.
So he just says, I've had it. You're gonna get pissed off, go redneck, rage on us, shoot us all at one point.
Go crazy.
Yes, crazy. He slaps his daughter. That's how crazy he is. So finally, the climax of this comic.
It's a family tradition.
Yeah, it's redneck family tradition. So, climax of this comic, owner of the barn tries to shoot Rick, but of course he says, just leave before I do this, before I shoot, or, change my mind. So, they leave. But the Chinese boy stays down and stays with the redneck girl so that he can live with her. I think, he'll have more of the future with her than just going around with no one.
Yeah.
Or just people that are just as crazy as him. So, they get back on the road. They look for a new place to live. And, they're just... It's just moderate.
Whatever.
They find a restaurant. The restaurant's full of zombies. We can't live here. They find a barn that's full of zombies. We can't live here. Finally, they're so happy. And very end, last picture.
A little
spoiler, but they find a prison. Which at first you're like, why the hell would you want to live in a zombie-infested prison? But
pretty cliche.
Yeah, if you could clean it up, it'd be perfect. You can guard yourself.
Food.
And I have read a little bit of the third one, and of course, I'll say this: there's more than just the zombies to be worried about now.
At the end of this comic, they have a little cliffhanger, which is like, what happens next? Or it gives you a little insight on what's going to happen in the next one. The last thing is just a picture of the prison, and that's what they found. And it's like, when you see that picture that they found the prison, you kind of make up what's going to happen next.
You can make a huge story out of just what could be inside of this prison.
Yeah.
So, if you want to read the third one, you can read before us. It's number 3, Life Behind Bars. Safety Behind Bars, I think. It's the purple one, volume 3. If you have the original prints, good for you, can read that. But
yeah.
So after that, yeah. And, of course, the TV show will be out on AMC Halloween. So, yeah.
So, do you think people who read this comic would be okay with just buying the second one and not reading the first one? Do you think they can kind of jump into it without reading the first one?
Probably could if you only... I mean, the first one, the first 2, because I believe each one is made of 6 original comics, each volume. If you read the first 3, that's fine. The last one you need to read, though. The 2 in the middle aren't that important. Just people dying because they're being stupid douchebags who don't want to leave their area. But, this comic is alright. I mean, it feels like just one of those, episodes of a TV show that aren't important.
You gotta have the beginning, which is epic. You gotta have a wonderful ending, but no matter how good you have a beginning, no matter how good you have an ending, you gotta have something in the middle.
Yeah, the middle wasn't that great.
It's kind of middle.
It's one of those like TV show episodes that are just like, let's call it a day. It's just another one of those episodes that won't matter at all one day.
Just they're gaining ground. They're progressing.
It's just building up to a bigger part. So this one was good. It was that winter. It was that winter comic. Yeah. The next season, it's probably summer.
You see, you gotta have hills and valleys. This is a valley, and so in the series, would you say this is one of the more important comics in the series?
This is not a very important comic in the series.
But how is it? Let's forget about it in the series. Let's forget about the fan base of it. Is it still a good comic? Is it entertaining?
Yeah. I mean, they are $15 for these new Image mass production prints. But, if you don't want to waste all your money, go right now to the store, find a very big bookstore, because it's probably the only place that's going to have it, buy the Walking Dead Compendium. It's $100, but it has every book.
All of them. Won't miss a single picture.
Yeah, you won't miss a single picture. I'm pretty sure it's $100, but I think there's 2 of them that are built up.
Christmas is coming up in a few months. Put on your list.
Birthday? If you have a fall birthday.
There you go. Yeah. Now, Alex, would you when would you recommend reading this comic?
Anytime. Preferably,
in the car.
I read the first one, and then I thought, this is all right. I'm not going to waste another $15 on this. But then I thought, hey, the show's going to come out soon. So I might as well read again. So it felt good not reading the series for a month, and then knowing that this is already out, but just looking at it and not buying it, and then next day, I got my allowance money. I'll go buy it.
It's a crime to not do a little last minute catching up with the comic book. You know, whenever you have an opportunity to read a book before the movie or show comes out, always take it.
Because the series isn't over yet. They're still making volumes. In fact, the third, 12th.
They're still making comic ones before the thing comes out. But I will say this to all you people. If you read the comic before the TV show comes out, and you and your friends are watching the show the day it comes out, you will know what happens, but do not ruin it for them. Just because they haven't...
Go ahead. What you can do is you're going to say, oh, I bet blah blah is going to happen. And I'm like, how'd you know that?
Amazing. But
I'm psychic.
But, if your friends really don't like spoilers, just keep it to yourself.
If I could read this comic, I'd probably give it about a 7. It's decent. It's not good, but it's not bad either, and it's somewhat important. So
I'd give it about a 6.5.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Well, that was our review. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will be making the Swamp Thing.
Not the '60s comic series. That's pretty hard to find now. But talking about the Compendium, the Alan Moore, the loose ends from there on. We're not using the original prints, just the graphic novel. So. We'll have that review shortly.
And they did make a movie. Wes Craven directed the movie The Swamp Thing, so the comic has to be good. It is based on the comic,
yes.
So, if Wes Craven saw this comic and said, wow, we got to make a movie off this, it's got to be good. So, stay tuned for that review soon. Like I said, this is the new guy who's taking over my department of comic reviews. I still have movie reviews and all that stuff. But... yeah, so stay tuned.
And if you want to know a preview of what's to come, we will be reviewing some of the more random Image comics, like the horror comics. We will be reviewing the Sandman comics. If you haven't known what those are pretty important. Neil Gaiman, he wrote Coraline or whatever. No one cares about that. But everyone loves Sandman comic. And that will be a TV show, too. So we'll be sure to review those.
Well, I didn't know that.
Of course you didn't. It just came out. But anyways... so yeah, we'll be reviewing those shortly, hopefully next month or this month.
So if you haven't subscribed, comment, rate, like, favorite, whatever YouTube has now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Screamer Comics, and bye.